Before radio, before the telegraph, before everything, there was a bird. 3,000 years. From the pharaohs of Egypt to the trenches of World War I, humanity entrusted its most urgent messages to an animal that weighs 66 hundredths of a pound and has a brain the size of an olive. And the strangest part? It worked. With a delivery rate above 90%, better than most modern postal services, and without needing an address. But nobody knows exactly how. Science has hypotheses, data, experiments. Yet to this day, the complete mechanism that allows a pigeon to find its home from 1,000 kilometers away hasn't been fully explained. This is the story of the world's oldest internet, and it had feathers. The use of pigeons to carry messages is documented as far back as ancient Egypt. Egyptian sailors released pigeons to signal that they were approaching port. 1,500 years before Christ, it was already established technology. The Greeks used pigeons to announce Olympic winners. The Romans built military dovecote networks spanning the entire Mediterranean. It was the empire's fastest communication system. During the Middle Ages, the Crusaders were stunned to discover that Arab armies already had organized aerial postal services using pigeons. Genghis Khan used mobile dovecotes that traveled with his armies. In the 19th century, Paul Julius Reuter, yes, that Reuters, started his career using carrier pigeons to transmit stock prices between Aachen and Brussels, faster than the train. And in 1914, when the trenches opened in France, pigeons returned to military service. 200,000 pigeons served in World War I, and their mortality rate was brutal. So how does it work? How does a pigeon, released 1,000 kilometers from home, find its way back? The short answer is, nobody fully knows. The long answer is fascinating. Carrier pigeons, technically domestic rock pigeons, Columba livia, possess something called homing instinct, the return instinct, and scientists have identified at least 3 systems working together. First, magnetism. Pigeons have magnetite particles, a magnetic mineral, in their beaks. This works like a biological compass. They sense the Earth's magnetic field and use it as a directional reference. Second, the sun. Pigeons know the sun's position at every hour of the day and use it to calculate direction. On cloudy days, accuracy drops, which confirms the hypothesis. Third, and this is the most surprising, smell. Recent research shows pigeons build an olfactory map of their territory. They literally smell their way home. Pigeons with a severed olfactory nerve get lost far more often. 3 redundant systems, magnetic, solar, olfactory, running in parallel like a 3-layer biological GPS designed by nobody, refined by millions of years of evolution. And the speed? A well-trained homing pigeon cruises at around 50 to 62 miles per hour. In a single day, it can cover roughly 620 miles without ever stopping to ask for directions. And the training? It's more methodical than you'd expect. First, the pigeon is born in the loft, raised there, fed there, sleeps there. The loft is home. And the homing instinct works in one direction, toward home. Always toward home. Not where you want it, where it was born. Second, distance exercises begin. The pigeon is taken 1 kilometer from the loft and released. It returns. 5 kilometers, returns. 10, returns. 50, returns. The distance increases gradually, over weeks, sometimes months. Third, the capsule. A small aluminum or bamboo capsule, light enough not to hinder flight, strapped to the leg with a leather ring. Inside, a message rolled on thin paper, handwritten. In World War I, some messages were written on silk to resist moisture. Fourth, military protocol. In 1914, the British and French armies established formal carrier pigeon units. Each battalion had a mobile loft, a wooden box with a directional opening. The soldier wrote the message, placed it in the capsule, strapped it to the leg, and released the pigeon. A well-trained pigeon reached headquarters in minutes. Radio could be intercepted. The pigeon couldn't. October 1918, the Argonne Forest, France. Major Charles Whittlesey and 550 American soldiers are surrounded. No food, not enough ammunition, and to make it worse, American artillery, unaware of their position, is bombing its own battalion. Friendly fire. Whittlesey had already sent 2 pigeons with coordinates asking the bombardment to stop. Both were shot down by German fire. One pigeon remains. Cher Ami. Translation from French. Dear friend, the message is strapped to the leg. Cher Ami is released. The Germans open fire. Cher Ami is hit in the chest, loses an eye. The leg carrying the message is nearly blown off. The capsule hangs by a tendon. Cher Ami keeps flying 25 miles in 25 minutes, arrives at the Army Corps headquarters, collapses, nearly dead. The message is recovered. The bombardment is adjusted. 194 soldiers survive. Cher Ami survives, loses the leg, receives the French Croix de Guerre, the highest military medal France awarded to service animals. World War II still used carrier pigeons. The British Army maintained the National Pigeon Service, and 32 pigeons received the Dickon Medal, the highest British decoration for animals in war. But the portable radio changed everything. It was faster. It could send messages in two directions, and it couldn't be shot down. By the 1950s, the world's major armies decommissioned their carrier pigeon services. Switzerland was one of the last. It kept the program until 1996. 1996, the year the first internet-capable cell phone was launched. The same year humanity began sending messages through radio waves from pocket devices. It deactivated the last service that sent messages through wings. 3,000 years of service ended by a transistor. Ami survived the Argonne forest. Military surgeons treated the wounds. They made a wooden leg to replace the one German fire destroyed, a pigeon with a leg prosthesis, in 1918. But Cher Ami never flew again. Died in June 1919, less than a year after the mission that made it famous, likely from a lung infection, a consequence of the chest wound. Today, Cher Ami is at the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History, taxidermied with the wooden leg, with the Croix de Guerre pinned to the chest. Near it, no plaque mentions the 194 soldiers who went home because a 300-gram pigeon didn't stop flying with a shattered chest and a leg hanging by a thread.